Imagine two students in a university investigation tell completely different stories. The investigator has no idea who to believe. So, how does the university decide who to believe and who's responsible? Well, it's not about who's more convincing, it's about who's more credible. Here are the 7 factors that go into that determination. Number one, consistency is everything. When you tell your side of the story, it can't change. If you add facts later, if you say inconsistent things like, I was never with this person that night, and then later you say, well, I was with them for about 10 minutes, that's an inconsistency, and you lose your credibility and don't appear honest. Make sure your story stays the same. Number two, independent evidence carries substantial weight. Once again, you say, I wasn't at the party that night. Oh, but there's a security camera that shows that you were there. You say, I didn't even log into my computer that night. Well, the login data shows that in fact you did. Independent evidence that has no stake in the story could be very damning. Number three, corroboration makes your story stronger. It's one thing for you to say it, it's another thing for other witnesses to support it. When you have supporting witnesses and supporting evidence, your case becomes immeasurably stronger. Your actions matter a lot more than your words. Everybody can tell a story. Everybody can even seem believable. But what tells the true story is how you act. If you say, for example, I never used AI and I did not cheat on this paper. Well, if you come up with evidence showing that you went through multiple drafts of a paper, you have your Google Doc history, then you're showing that your actions support your words. Number five, credibility begins before the investigation. Okay? What does that mean? A person's true character and the truth itself is often revealed when a person acts without knowing there'll be any investigation. So, if you say, I was never bullying that student, I never said anything negative to that student, but then they discover a few months before the investigation you were sending threatening text messages, you're finished. Actions matter more than words. And number five, credibility begins before the investigation. Same principle. When you're being investigated, everybody puts their best foot forward. But how did you act when there was no investigation? That is what the investigator and the university will be analyzing. Number six, motive is important, even though it's not everything. The investigator is going to ask, who here has the motive to lie? For example, let's say a student is caught plagiarizing and is facing an F in the course. And then suddenly, a complaint is filed against the professor by that student saying the professor was unfair, the professor was not clear in the syllabus about what the requirements were. One of the things the investigator is going to consider is, well, does this person have a motive to lie? Well, if the student is facing an F in the class and the complaint just so conveniently comes after that, then that motive is going to suggest that the person is not to be believed. Number seven, credibility is built by honesty, not perfection. And this is critical. So, in every investigation, you don't have to act like you're the perfect person who's never done anything wrong. So, if you're accused of cheating on an examination and the investigator says, well, you were found responsible for cheating on an earlier exam in the semester, and it's true, don't lie. Don't say, yes, I was, but I really didn't cheat. You're not going to come across as believable. Instead, admit to the bad facts. Make the concession. And then explain why in this instance you did not do that. So when you admit bad facts, when you acknowledge unfavorable facts, then you come across as credible. So for those of you who are under investigation or will be in the future, Number 1, consistency is everything. Number 2, independent evidence carries significant weight. Number 3, corroboration makes your story stronger. 4, your actions matter more than your words. 5, credibility begins before the investigation. 6, motive is critical. And 7, credibility is about honesty, not perfection. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you soon.